Have you ever found yourself talking when no one else is around? Maybe while doing chores or thinking through a problem? You might feel like it's a bit odd, but don't worry, it's actually quite normal. Welcome to the Dark Psychology channel. Here, we discuss behaviors like talking to oneself, which is a common behavior that everyone has done at some point. If it happens to you often, it doesn't mean you have a mental illness or a brain problem. In fact, some studies have found that talking to yourself can improve your problem-solving skills. For instance, if you can't find your car keys, you might ask yourself, "Where are my keys? Are they on the seat?" Speaking these thoughts out loud can help you recall and locate things faster. So, what's behind this self-talk or soliloquy? Does it have any meaning? Can psychology explain it? Are you the type of person who is prone to schizophrenia? If you're interested in life and psychology knowledge sharing like this, feel free to subscribe. In psychology, talking to oneself is a very normal and useful behavior. This behavior is called self-talk. The theory of self-talk was first proposed in the 1920s by Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky. His research traced back to his observations of children playing and learning. Vygotsky believed that talking to oneself is key to a child's growth and cognitive development. He noticed that when children are playing or facing challenges, they often talk to themselves, guiding their actions, practicing problem solving, and managing their behavior. As the child grows up, these self-guided words gradually internalize into the inner monologue that most people have in their heads. However, not everyone can hear this inner monologue. Some people have no voice in their heads and can't hear the sound in their mind. This is similar to aphantasia, where some people cannot visualize images in their minds. The inability to hear voices in one's head is called auditory aphantasia, or no inner language. These individuals can only talk to themselves in spoken words. If you can't speak from the heart like this, then you might be a person without inner language. Do you ever find yourself hearing the characters' voices in your head when you're reading comics or books? Like a girl's voice for a female character and a boy's voice for a male character? This might be your brain matching the characters to voices you've heard before. It's like you're listening to the text rather than just reading it. If you can relate to this, feel free to leave a comment below. Now, let's talk about people who don't have an inner language. This doesn't mean they can't think. Their thought process just doesn't rely on an inner voice. They might rely more on visuals or abstract thinking. So, you might find them talking to themselves out loud more often. So, what's the purpose of talking to oneself? Whether it's self-talk spoken aloud or an inner monologue, different people may use different types. Some people might tell themselves, "I can do this," or "Just clean it up, it'll be fine." Self-talk can be categorized into three main types: positive, negative, and task-oriented. Positive self-talk involves words of self-encouragement and affirmation. This kind of self-talk can boost our self-confidence. Some studies have even found that it can increase the success rate of tasks. It's also a way to cheer yourself up. Even though the words come from your own mouth, hearing encouraging words can often help you cope with pressure. If you struggle with procrastination, learning positive self-talk might enhance your ability to get things done. The second type is negative self-talk, which includes words of self-doubt, self-criticism, or belittling oneself. This kind of self-talk might reflect past bad experiences or worries about future challenges. Expressing suppressed emotions occasionally can help adjust your mood. However, if it's long-term negative thoughts and self-blame based on one or few experiences, it could lead to anxiety and depression. This kind of self-talk should be reduced. The third type is task-oriented self-talk, which includes instructive words about a task or goal. This type is common in organizational thinking, reminders, and planning steps. It's like an internal simulation process that provides a way for you to speak to and listen to yourself, previewing different courses of action and their consequences. This process is similar to psychological trial and error, with the benefit being no real risks or consequences. If you hear something wrong, you can change actions immediately, thereby improving problem-solving abilities. If I ask you, do you often talk to yourself? Most people would probably say no or very little. But what if there was an X-ray camera that could see through the mind? You'd find out that you have so many thoughts and psychological OS. X-ray cameras that can see through minds don't exist, but I've picked 15 common self-talks in life. These words can be said in your heart or out loud. Look at what you've said before. 1. When assembling something, you look at the manual and mutter to yourself, first of all, then second. 2. When encountering endless things, it's annoying enough to throw out a sentence. 3. When counting, you subconsciously say it to yourself in a breathy voice. 4. After completing a task, you give yourself affirmation for a job well done. This is my strength. 5. When irritated and unhappy, you make the tut-tisk sound. 6. When an accident suddenly occurs, you reassure yourself, it's okay, it's okay. 7. After a long period of back and forth thoughts, you wonder, how are we going to celebrate when class is over? Are you going to buy real breasts? I want a carton of milk. It seems that the bag does not have enough money. 8. When you meet someone doing stupid things, you blurt out, dry, lean back and lead the teacher to fuck. 9. Unless you are so stupid that you can't help but complain about yourself, why am I so stupid? 10. At night, when giving up thinking, it's better to go to sleep. 11. When hungry but too lazy to go out, it's better to order takeout. 12. When facing challenges, you make fists to encourage yourself, I can. 13. When feeling that fate is so unfair, you pity yourself, why does this always happen to me? 14. When facing failure, you pick yourself up, it's okay, we'll be better next time. 15. When you hear something funny on your phone, next time repeat those words. Good night. So, talking to yourself is a very normal and useful behavior. Don't worry if you do it, you're not alone. According to the professional test above, individual themes of self-talk are gathering. Negative and task-oriented self-talk, which one occurs to you more often? If you've experienced almost all 15 of these, then you're a person who likes to talk to yourself. At this point, some people might wonder if they have schizophrenia because they often talk to themselves. Schizophrenia is a long-term mental health disorder, now referred to as a visual disorder. It's different from ordinary self-talk and can be distinguished by frequency and context. Most people talk to themselves occasionally, usually when they need to focus or solve a problem. People with visual disorders, however, will talk to themselves more frequently and in any situation, saying things that are out of touch with reality and incomprehensible. This might be their response to auditory hallucinations. The average person's self-talk can be controlled, while schizophrenia patients, due to delusions and auditory hallucinations, may talk to themselves or respond to sounds in any situation, seriously impacting their social life and work. Schizophrenia often comes with other symptoms such as auditory hallucinations, delusions, and cognitive dysfunction, which aren't accompanied by ordinary self-talk. If you think you have a mental problem, it's suggested to seek professional help. Continuing on, let's talk about self-talk from another normal perspective. In some cartoons or dramas, when describing the psychological activities of a normal person, they often end up with an angel and a demon as psychological, two different voices. For example, when deciding whether to eat ice cream, the angel might say, "Don't eat ice cream, it will make you fat," while the demon might say, "It's okay, how can you get fat if you eat one?" This is just an artistic depiction of people's inner dialogue. In psychology, there is no such thing as demons and angels, but there's a psychological theory a bit similar to them, proposed by the founder of the school of psychopsychology. Freud's theory of the ID, ego, and superego divides a person's psychological structure into three parts. The ID follows the pleasure principle, seeking instant gratification. It's like a child who always wants candy, not caring if it's mealtime or if too much sugar will make them sick. The ego follows the reality principle, trying to meet its own needs while considering social norms and rules. It's like an adult who understands social norms and takes care of the child, explaining why now is not the best time to eat sugar and finding the right time and method to satisfy the child's sweet tooth. The superego works on controlling the impulses of the ego and behaves morally and ethically. It's like a moral teacher, teaching the child what is right, what is wrong, and how to be ethical. All three parts are important, and having more of one is not the ideal result. This relates to talking to oneself in that we have three voices living in our hearts. For example, when deciding whether to eat ice cream, the ID might say, "I want ice cream now." The ego might say, "Not eating is bad for your health, we need to find a balance." And the superego might say, "Remember our health standards, let's compromise and choose a healthier option." Sometimes, you might find yourself talking to yourself, with one voice telling you to do something and another voice stopping you. This could be seen as similar to the ID, ego, and superego. However, this is just an idea, and the original ID-ego-superego theory doesn't directly relate to talking to oneself. Talking to oneself is generally a good behavior. Saying words of encouragement or affirmation to yourself can really improve your problem-solving abilities, emotion regulation, stress coping, and self-efficacy. We'll talk about Freud's triarchy of personality, ID, ego, superego in more detail in a future episode. There are numerous studies that back this up. Positive self-talk can indeed help a person achieve success in life. So, don't blindly criticize yourself, as it will only make your life more anxious. Positive self-talk can lead a person to success, while negative self-talk can be destructive. If you find that you have a habit of talking to yourself, it's better for you to say more nice things like "I can" and "I can definitely do it." This gives your life more opportunities to succeed. Wait, don't rush off just yet. If you found this topic helpful, thank you for supporting our creation. Simply leaving a like or a comment before you go can increase our motivation to make videos. Hit the subscribe bell, and we'll notify you when there are new videos in the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.